Does that sound
I'm
right?
getting 5.2, 3.6, but those don't look quite right. 4 looks pretty good though.
Wait 1 second, guys.
No.
The batteries in there.
You see this on the board? I called James, but he put me the voice down. I think he's on the
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. I let Kelly know already.
Good to go?
Bye-bye.
You know what? Yeah, I got 4.
Good. All set.
Okay. Figure out how to spell it. Kate, how do you pronounce this guy's name, you know?
I'm not sure.
The last name's Hassan, right, though? I mean, Hassan, I'll just call him Mr. Hassan. All right.
We're live to air.
I'm alive now, sorry.
Ready to go.
Okay. All right. All right, so we have obviously a truly unfortunate incident last night. You know, I've been going to games for 50 years, and it's amazing that more incidents like this don't happen, quite frankly. But, you know, when you have, you know, 80,000 people that are going to the game, and people are walking in the middle of the road and are crossing streets in the middle of the road, I mean, you're bound to have something happen. This was a little unusual in the sense that it happened at about 8:19 p.m., like a minute before kickoff. So the majority of the people are already in the stands, but unfortunately, a 65-year-old man from Rochester, who I presume was going to the game, I don't definitively know that, but I presume he was going to the game, on Southwestern Boulevard near Abbott Road by the stadium, apparently walked out into the into the road on Southwestern and was struck by a Toyota Camry that was owned by 32-year-old Khairullah Hassan. That's Khairullah, last name Hasein, a 32-year-old from Buffalo, New York. Mr. Hassan was actually at work at the time of the incident. He was a delivery driver for Amazon, and he was driving his own personal vehicle. Again, I didn't realize that some delivery drivers, they actually drive their own personal vehicles to deliver packages. But he was driving his own personal vehicle at the time, delivering in the area. He apparently had just come from the warehouse, which my understanding is near the stadium, and struck this 65-year-old man in the front of his vehicle. There was apparently, I haven't seen pictures yet, but there apparently was some significant front-end damage to the vehicle, and the pedestrian was taken to ECMC and died last night from his injuries. There was, again, with some people still coming in the stadium at kickoff time, a witness who was there, who got the license plate down, and a few hours later, the police were able to find the vehicle at the defendant's home on Mills Street in the city of Buffalo. And they went to the home, and the defendant was home, and they were able to, a short period of time after an investigation, put Mr. Hassan under custody and arrest him. He was charged and arraigned this morning for leaving the scene of an incident that resulted in the death of an individual. That's a Class D felony. He was arraigned on that charge this morning, and he'll be returning to Orchard Park Town Court on Friday afternoon for a felony hearing. Excuse me. What's sad about this case? I mean, again, obviously, there's a lot of things sad about it. A human being lost their life, but what makes this more troublesome is that, you know, again, these are allegations. The defendant is innocent until proven guilty, but based upon, the facts that we have, all Mr. Hassan had to do, or all anyone has to do when they are involved in a situation like this, is just stop the car. There is no indication that there was any alcohol involved. There's no indication any drugs were involved. There's no indication any speeding was involved. No reckless driving. No driving with a cell phone. There's no traffic violations at all that are attached to this charge. The actual crime is not striking the pedestrian. The crime is leaving the scene. Apparently, the defendant's 9-year-old son was also in the car with him at the time of the incident, and again, there's no indication that any kind of endangering the welfare of a child charge is imminent here at all. I mean, I'll look into it a little bit, but from the indication that I have so far, there was no reckless driving, no speeding, no anything that would have resulted in any charges against the defendant at all, except for his allegedly leaving the scene of the incident. And that's what makes this even more sad than, or just as sad, obviously, as the death of another human being. Questions?
Did you say the pedestrian was walking just in the street along the side, or was it?
I don't know exactly where, but there's no indication at all that the car was like on the side of the road at all. All indications are that the car was traveling on a normal path, a normal lane on Southwestern. Now, again, I don't know if it was right lane or left lane. That I don't know at this time, Aaron. But so based upon that facts, it appears that the victim had walked out into the road.
But across the road,
That I don't know. Again, I mean, you're talking Southwestern by the corner of Abbott. I personally park near there as well, so I know exactly where this is. And again, people are. I don't want to presume what happened here, but obviously, I've been going to games for 50 years. I saw it last night myself. People are crossing the street all over the place. They're running down the street. They're crossing the road. I mean, again, this is a 64-year-old man, 5-year-old man. So it's not like some 20-year-old kid who has been tailgating all day, running across the street. I mean, I'm going to presume that maybe incorrectly, but I don't know, exactly what he was doing. But it appears it happened in the road. So at some point, obviously, just logistics and common sense tells you that he must have walked out on the road.
And the car was going which way? East or west?
I don't know. I'll find out for you.
Is it known the victim was going to the Bills game?
I don't know for sure. Again, I can presume that, but I don't know for sure.
And the driver had Indiana plates, police said. Is there-
I didn't know that either. So yeah,
Any idea?
No, I know that. Yeah, he apparently lives on Mill Street in the city of Buffalo, and the car was found at his home a few hours later. So I know that. I know he was, like I said, working at the time, delivering packages. It's my understanding that after the incident happened, he continued on and delivered packages after the incident.
Yeah, in Orchard Park Town Court this morning, his attorney said that he didn't know anything about this, ended up at home, got a call, or had police show up at his door at 11 o'clock. How does that play into this?
Well, that'll be a defense. Obviously, that is the that really is the main defense for these type of cases. The defendant, again, I'm not going to presume what he's going to say, but I'll just, law school hypothetical. Whenever you have these instances, a lot of times the individual involved will say, "I didn't realize I hit something. I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel anything." So those will be all the factors that come into play here, where we'll present evidence to the court now that story just doesn't make sense. Look at the damage to the car. With this kind of damage to the car, how is it possible or reasonable that someone didn't realize they hit something? Whether it was a deer or a cone, or they knew they hit something. Again, I'm not saying that here. I'm just giving you a general hypothetical. But those are the kind of things that, and evidence that we'll present in court.
Can you describe the damage to the vehicle?
Just front end damage. I don't know, like exactly, you know, how much they would, dollar amount, or, but, you know, from my understanding, I haven't seen pictures of the area, but from my understanding, there's significant front-end damage.
And forgive me, what was the model of the car?
Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry, thank you.
Had the driver, I know this is a hypothetical, had he stopped and reported this to police, could he still have been facing charges?
Well, I mean, if you don't have any reckless driving, you don't have any speeding, you don't have any cell phone, you weren't going through a red light or anything like that at all. I mean, there's a possibility here. Again, I don't know definitively, but there's based upon the facts that I know, there's a strong possibility there would have been no charges at all. It would have been just a civil accident where you call a civil lawyer and you don't call police.
In terms of the conditions on the road that night, you know, it wasn't raining, wasn't any issues
No,
like
yeah, it was
that.
clear.
They
I was
also
there.
cited,
It was clear.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
also cited in court, you know, lack of light and so on. Is that
Yeah,
something that you've
yeah.
heard before in cases?
Well,
in
yeah,
this area?
I personally saw it. I mean, there's definitely a lack of light in that area at night. You know, you obviously have more light earlier on in the evening when you have cars there with their headlights on. But I mean, you know, this was literally at kickoff time. At kickoff time, 95% of the people are in their seats, or maybe 90. I mean, the overwhelming majority are in their seats. So you have very few cars coming at that time, and you know, obviously fewer people. You have last minute people coming in, but so the lighting is definitely less than it is at 7:30, an hour before kickoff. No doubt about that at all.
Was there any parts of the vehicle left behind at the scene?
I don't know that.
Why was it important for the driver to be held, to be remanded?
If you leave the scene of an accident, in my opinion, that is a strong indication that you're potentially a flight risk. If you're going to flight after you've hit something, then in my opinion, you're willing to flight after you get arrested. So that's why we asked for remand, and that's why the judge, you know, held him.
I don't know if there's any video of the incident.
I don't know that. There's probably a good possibility there. I mean, there's probably, you know, there's a number of bars in those corners. There's at least one bar in a corner of Southwestern Boulevard there. There's a Tim Hortons there around there. There's a Louis Hot Dog around there too. There's a number of businesses that are around there. So obviously the Orchard Park Police will you know, scan the area, you know, and talk to the area. So there's, I mean, again, I'm not saying there is, but there's probably a good chance there is.
Is there any information on there was another accident on Miles Street?
Yeah, I heard about another accident, but I heard the person was at ECMC, but I don't know the condition at all. Yeah, but I heard it was one more, and it's amazing there's not more. I mean, again, like I said, I've been literally going to games for 50 years, every game. I mean, except when I was in the Navy, but you know, and you know, it's just obviously one is too many, but it's just surprising there's not more if you think about it.
Do you feel that because of this incident and the other accident, seems like the driver did report it and followed the procedures as you said, do you feel that there's anything more that either the sheriff's office or Orchard Park Police can do to try and try to curb this?
No, I think they do a great job. I think they do a great job. You know, it is. You know, there's a lot of cars there. There's a lot of people there in a small area, and so managing that is a Herculean task that they do, in my opinion, a great job every weekend. And the fact, like I said before, the fact that there's not more incidents like that, you know, shows that they really do a good job of, you know, having people cross in, you know, certain areas, at the corners, and in crosswalks, you know, and they really discourage, and I've seen sheriffs, you know, yell at people, you know, and give people a hard time for crossing in the middle of the street, as they should, because that's what happens when you. I'm not saying that happened here. I don't know that for sure. But when people cross in the middle of the street on Abbott or Southwestern, you know, that's when accidents can happen. And I think they do a great job.
Anything else?
You know, okay. What?
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely.
you.